Chosen one. You did not arrive here by accident, and this moment is not random. Heaven has been watching the hour on its clock, and the hand has just moved for you. What you are hearing now is the sound of a sealed scroll beginning to open, a prophetic timing written over your life long before you took your first breath. This is a Kairos moment, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. The kind of moment Scripture speaks of when it says, "There is a time for everything under heaven," as written in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, verse 1. Anointed one, there is a reason this message found you when it did. Something hidden has been waiting for the right hour to surface, and that hour has arrived. A truth once reserved, a pattern once concealed, a divine technique long buried beneath tradition is being revealed again, not to the crowds, but to the chosen. As Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 3 declares, the vision waits for its appointed time, but at the proper moment it will speak and not delay. Chosen one, you are standing at the edge of a sacred unlocking. What unfolds today, tonight, or in the coming hours may shift how you rest, how you heal, and how you commune with God. Prepare your heart. Quiet your striving. Heaven is about to reveal what was always yours to remember. Chosen one. The urgency you felt when you arrived here was not emotional, and it was not coincidence. Something ancient has begun to stir because heaven does not interrupt lives randomly. When the sealed scroll begins to loosen, the soul recognizes the sound before the mind understands the meaning. This moment is not about information. It is about remembrance. You are not watching this because you are curious. You are here because a hidden season is ending and another is quietly unfolding beneath the surface of your life. Anointed one. There is a reason your spirit has been restless at night. A reason sleep has not felt the same. A reason your dreams have carried weight symbols and emotions that linger long after you wake. Heaven has been preparing you in the dark places, not punishing you, not delaying you, but training you where no applause exists and no performance is possible. The night has always been the classroom of the chosen. Long before platforms, pulpits, and crowds, God met his servants in silence, in rest, in the yielding that only happens when striving finally gives up. I want to speak to you not as someone above you, but as someone who has walked through this same threshold, confused, tired, and unaware of what was happening. There was a season in my own life where the day felt heavy and the night felt strange. I would lie down exhausted, yet wake with insight I never reasoned my way into. Problems I wrestled with all day dissolved without effort by morning. I didn't know it then, but heaven was teaching me what it teaches all who are being prepared quietly. The work is done while you sleep. Chosen one. This is why the life of Jesus cannot be understood only through daylight stories. The miracles were public, but the preparation was private. The healings were visible, but the alignment happened unseen. Scripture hints at it again and again, quietly saying he withdrew while it was still dark, that he went away alone, that he rested before power moved. This was not escape. This was return, a return to source, a return to the place where identity dissolves and divine authority is restored. You have been told sleep is passive, wasted, unproductive, but heaven has always known it as active ground. When you sleep, your defenses drop, your ego loosens its grip, your need to control finally relaxes, and in that space, truth can reach you without resistance. This is why the enemy fights rest so fiercely. This is why distraction multiplies at night. This is why anxiety waits until your head touches the pillow. Because sleep is not neutral territory, it is sacred ground. Anointed one. Your hidden scroll is not opening through effort. It is opening through surrender. This is the paradox of the kingdom that so few understand. The more you try, the further it feels. The more you release, the closer it becomes. Jesus understood this deeply. He did not perform miracles by forcing outcomes. He aligned with heaven so completely that outcomes obeyed alignment. And that alignment was practiced nightly, not occasionally, not accidentally, but intentionally. There is a verse that whispers this truth without shouting it, a reminder written in Ecclesiastes chapter 3 verse 1, that there is a time for every purpose under heaven. Most people think that time refers to external seasons, but the deeper meaning is internal. There is a time when striving ends, a time when learning stops, a time when doing gives way to being. You are approaching that time now. Chosen one. Heaven is intervening not by adding more to your life, but by removing the noise that has kept you from hearing what was always speaking. This is why exhaustion often precedes awakening. This is why the mind grows tired before the soul awakens. This is why your strength felt drained before clarity arrived. You are being guided toward rest, not as collapse, but as communion. Tonight matters. Not because something dramatic must happen, but because awareness has shifted. You are no longer sleeping unconsciously. You are being invited to rest with intention, to cross the threshold the way Jesus did, not as escape from the world, but as alignment with heaven. The same silence he entered is waiting for you. The same rest that prepared him is available now. Let this settle in you. Not as pressure, not as expectation, but as permission. Permission to stop striving. Permission to trust the dark season. Permission to believe that heaven works most powerfully when you finally lay down your effort. Because the scroll is opening, chosen one, and it opens first in the night. If you're ready, we'll go deeper. Chosen one, before anything visible ever shifted in the life of Jesus, something invisible was already aligning within him. The world saw the healings, but heaven saw the hours of surrender that came first. This is where most people misunderstand divine power. They think authority is built through effort, discipline, or moral perfection, but authority is actually formed through alignment. And alignment does not happen in noise. It happens when the will softens and the soul returns to its original posture of trust. This is why Jesus did not rush from miracle to miracle. He repeatedly withdrew, not because he was tired of people, but because he understood something most never learn. If you do not return to the source, power leaks. I learned this the hard way in my own life when seasons of constant doing left me spiritually dry, even though I was outwardly productive. It wasn't sin that weakened me, it was disconnection. And reconnection did not come through trying harder, it came through stopping. Anointed one. The night was never meant to be empty. Long before religion turned spirituality into performance, the night was understood as the second sanctuary. There were communities who ordered their entire lives around this truth, people who prepared for sleep the way priests prepared for sacred encounters. They knew that when the body rests, the soul does not disappear. It moves closer to its source. When the sun set, they did not distract themselves into exhaustion. They slowed down. They purified their thoughts. They forgave. They released. They entered rest as an act of devotion. This is the environment Jesus was raised in. He did not invent this practice. He inherited it, refined it, and embodied it. Chosen one here is the part that may challenge what you were taught. Healing does not begin with effort. Healing begins when effort ends. The Essenes understood that when the mind stops grasping the body, remembers how to heal itself. They believed the soul continues its work when the body sleeps, and that the realm entered in rest is closer to truth than the realm of waking identity. This is why healing often happens overnight. This is why clarity comes in the morning. This is why answers arrive uninvited when you stop chasing them. I have experienced this personally, waking up with solutions. I never reasoned my way into feeling peace where anxiety once lived, sensing restoration that no strategy produced. That is not imagination. That is alignment. Jesus mastered this. Every night before public power flowed through him, he entered a state of surrender so complete that the boundary between his human awareness and divine awareness thinned. He did not try to access God. He rested into God. This is the difference. Most people pray from separation, asking heaven to intervene. Jesus rested from union, allowing heaven to express itself. When the woman with the issue of blood touched him, power left him without conscious effort, because he had already aligned himself at a deeper level. He had become a conduit, not through striving, but through surrender. Anointed One, this same doorway opens for you every night. You cross it whether you are aware or not. The question is what you carry with you across the threshold. Fear carried into sleep multiplies. Unforgiveness carried into sleep hardens. Anxiety carried into sleep trains the body to remain in survival. But peace carried into sleep teaches the body safety. Trust carried into sleep instructs the nervous system to heal. This is not metaphorical language. Your body listens to your state, not your intentions. Jesus understood this. That is why he forgave daily, not occasionally. That is why he released control repeatedly. He knew resentment poisons the night and control blocks restoration. Chosen One. The kingdom he spoke of was never a distant place. It was a state of being entered when identity loosens and awareness expands. This is why he compared the kingdom to rest. Not inactivity, but surrender. When the conscious mind steps aside, something wiser takes over. This is what happens right before sleep, when thoughts soften and identity blurs. Most people fall into this unconsciously. Jesus entered it deliberately. He learned to remain aware where others disappeared. And from that place, reality responded. If this feels familiar, it is because your soul has been here before. There are moments right before sleep when everything feels safe without reason, when the body feels heavy and warm, when peace arrives uninvited. That is not tiredness. That is the threshold. That is the edge of the kingdom. You have crossed it thousands of times without knowing its name. Now you are being invited to cross it with awareness. Chosen One. This is not about becoming someone new. It is about returning to what you already are beneath the noise. Heaven is not asking you to strive. It is asking you to trust. And the training ground for that trust is not the day. It is the night. Chosen One. The practice Jesus lived was not mystical fantasy or religious theater. It was deeply practical, grounded in how consciousness actually works. Before sleep, he cleared the inner field. He understood that whatever state you enter the night with becomes the atmosphere your soul breathes for hours. Most people collapse into sleep, carrying the weight of the day, replaying conversations, gripping regrets, rehearsing fear. Then they wonder why rest does not restore them. Jesus did the opposite. He treated the final moments of wakefulness as sacred preparation. This was not ritual for show. It was alignment for healing. Anointed One. The first thing he practiced was release. Not once, not occasionally, but nightly. He did not carry offense into rest. He did not allow resentment to follow him into the dark. Forgiveness was not moral performance for him. It was hygiene. Carrying anger into sleep is like poisoning the well you must drink from all night long. I learned this through experience long before I understood it spiritually. There were nights I slept 8 hours and woke up exhausted, not because my body was tired, but because my spirit had been grinding on unresolved emotion all night. When I finally learned to forgive before rest, not because the other person deserved it, but because I did something shifted. Sleep became deeper, dreams became clearer, healing accelerated. Chosen one. Unforgiveness binds the nervous system to the past. Forgiveness releases it into the present. This is why Jesus taught forgiveness so relentlessly. Not because God withholds love, but because resentment blocks reception. Before sleep, he released everyone, every misunderstanding, every betrayal, every injustice, not as weakness, but as authority. When you forgive, you reclaim your inner territory. When you forgive, you stop leaking power. And when you enter sleep unbound, your body finally receives the signal that it is safe to heal. The second practice was surrender of control. This is where most people resist. Control feels like safety, but it is actually fear wearing armor. Jesus understood that control cannot coexist with trust, and trust is the doorway to the kingdom. When he said, "Your will be done," he was not surrendering responsibility. He was aligning with intelligence greater than the mind's limited perspective. Control keeps the nervous system activated. Surrender allows it to downshift. This is why many people wake up tired even after sleeping. Their bodies never entered true rest because control kept the system alert. Anointed one, surrender before sleep is not passive. It is powerful. It is the declaration that you no longer need to manage outcomes to be safe. I remember the first time I consciously released control before sleep, saying inwardly that I trusted whatever was unfolding, even if I could not see it yet. My body responded immediately. My breath deepened. My chest softened. My mind loosened its grip. That was not imagination. That was alignment. Jesus lived in this state. He carried it from night into day. That is why chaos did not disturb him the way it disturbed others. The third practice was remembrance. Not visualization as wishful thinking, but remembrance of identity. Jesus did not fall asleep seeing himself as weak, separate, or broken. He rested in the awareness of union. When he said, "I am the light of the world," he was not making a motivational statement. He was describing consciousness. And when you rest in truth, the body responds. Before sleep, he allowed himself to remember what he actually was beneath role and story. This is why his presence felt like medicine. He carried coherence. Chosen one. Your body is always listening, not to your words, but to your state. When you fall asleep in fear, your body receives the instruction to defend. When you fall asleep in trust, your body receives the instruction to repair. This is why healing is not forced, it is allowed. The night is when the mind finally loosens its grip and the deeper intelligence takes over. Jesus did not override natural law. He aligned with a higher one. Consciousness precedes form. The body follows awareness. This is why miracles followed him effortlessly. He was not commanding matter from ego. He was speaking from alignment. When he said rise and walk, he was addressing consciousness, not muscles. The body obeyed because the instruction came from the level that governs form. Most people only touch that level briefly in deep sleep. Jesus learned to live from it. Chosen one. This is why storms did not disturb him. He slept through chaos because his inner state was unshaken. When he woke and spoke peace, the outer world reorganized to match the inner one. He did not control the storm. He remained aligned, and reality responded. This is not mythology. This is consciousness law. Every night you enter the same realm. The difference is awareness. Most cross the threshold unconsciously, dragging fear and noise with them. Jesus crossed clean, clear, surrendered. This is why his sleep prepared him for power. This is why the real miracle happened before morning. What consciousness you carry into sleep tonight matters, not because you are being tested, but because you are being trained. The night is still the sanctuary, the doorway is still open, and the same rest that prepared him is available to you now. Chosen one. There is a realm you enter every night that most people dismiss as unreal, simply because it cannot be controlled. Yet that realm is closer to truth than the waking world because it is not filtered through fear, performance, or identity. Dreams were never random fragments of the mind. They are the language consciousness uses when the ego finally steps aside. The ancients understood this, and Scripture quietly confirms it again and again. God speaks through dreams, not because he prefers symbolism, but because symbolism bypasses resistance. Jesus was raised in a culture that honored this. He did not fear dreams, he trusted them, and more than that, he learned to remain awake within them. Anointed one, think about what happens in a dream. Time collapses, space bends, the impossible feels natural. You can fly without effort. You can heal instantly. You can speak with those who are no longer here. Not because logic is broken, but because you are operating in a dimension where consciousness creates form directly. That realm is not imaginary. It is pre-physical. It is the realm from which form emerges. Most humans visit it unconsciously. Jesus learned to inhabit it consciously. This is what mystics across cultures have described for thousands of years. Some call it remaining awake while the body sleeps. Others call it sacred rest, holy stillness, or the inner chamber. Buddhists describe it as clear awareness. Yogic traditions call it deep rest without loss of consciousness. Early Christian mystics spoke of watchfulness in the night. Different languages, same reality. The ability to remain aware while the body enters rest, to cross the threshold without losing presence. This is what Jesus mastered, and this is why his miracles felt effortless. He was not switching states between night and day. He carried the night into the day. Chosen one. When Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is at hand, he was not speaking metaphorically. He was describing proximity, nearer than breath, closer than thought, as accessible as the moment your eyes grow heavy. The kingdom is not accessed through striving upward, but through sinking inward, through rest, through surrender, through letting go of the identity that insists on control. This is why sleep was central to his preparation. Sleep dissolves the illusion of separation. For a few hours each night, you remember what you are beneath the story. I remember the first time I realized this wasn't theory. I had gone to bed exhausted, not physically but emotionally. I chose to release the day instead of rehearsing it. I allowed myself to rest in trust without asking for answers. That night I dreamed with a clarity I had never known. I woke up with a sense of peace that did not come from circumstances. Something had realigned. From that point on, I understood that sleep was not escape, it was communion. Chosen one. This is why Jesus could speak reality into form. He was fluent in the language of the dream realm while awake. In dreams, what you imagine becomes real instantly. There is no delay. There is no separation between thought and experience. Jesus brought that coherence into waking life. When he spoke, his words carried the authority of a realm where thought and form are one. That authority was not learned through debate. It was cultivated through rest. You have touched this realm before. You know it. In moments right before sleep, when your body is heavy and your thoughts soften, when peace arrives without explanation, when identity loosens its grip. That is the doorway. Most people cross it unconsciously and forget it by morning. Jesus crossed it awake and returned with coherence intact. That coherence is what healed. That coherence is what calmed storms. That coherence is what rearranged matter. Anointed One. The night is still teaching you whether you are aware of it or not. Every dream is a message written in the language of your soul, even the strange ones, even the ones you forget. Consciousness is always communicating. The question is whether you are listening or dismissing. When you wake with a feeling you cannot explain, that is residue from a realm where truth is not debated, only known. This is why sacred rest threatens systems built on control. If people understood that the kingdom is accessed, nightly institutions would lose their leverage, fear would lose its grip, guilt would lose its power. Direct access removes dependence. This is why these teachings were softened, spiritualized, and buried under doctrine. But the doorway was never closed. It lives in your biology. It opens every night. Chosen One. The Christ you have been searching for is not waiting in a distant future or hidden behind religious performance. It is the awakened consciousness that recognizes itself in rest. Christ in you is not poetry, it is a state of coherence where heaven and earth meet within awareness. This is what Jesus embodied. He did not ask you to worship him from distance. He showed you what becomes possible when alignment replaces effort. Every night you are invited to return to that state, not to chase visions, not to force experiences, but to allow remembrance. The same presence that walked with him walks with you. The same rest that prepared him is available now. And the more you enter it consciously, the more that coherence follows you into the day. The night is not the absence of light. It is the place where light remembers itself. Chosen One. Everything you have heard up to this point leads to a single grounded truth. The night does not change you by force, it reveals what you allow. Sacred rest is not something that happens to you, it is something you consent to. Jesus did not stumble into alignment by accident. He practiced it with intention, patience, and reverence night after night, long before anyone called it miraculous. What he demonstrated publicly was simply the overflow of what he cultivated privately. This is why the body of the chosen is trained in silence before it is trusted with power. Anointed One here is where this teaching becomes practical rather than mystical. The state you enter before sleep programs the body for the entire night. Modern science confirms this in fragments speaking of parasympathetic activation, nervous system regulation, and hormonal repair. Ancient wisdom spoke of the same thing in different language. When fear is present, the body stays alert. When trust is present, the body repairs. Jesus understood this at a level beyond terminology. He lived in a state of internal safety so deep that even chaos around him did not register as threat. This safety was not denial. It was alignment. I want to speak plainly now because this is where many people unintentionally sabotage themselves. Most nights, people hand their nervous system over to whatever they consumed last. News, conflict, comparison, stimulation. They fall asleep scrolling, absorbing chaos, letting external noise dictate internal state. Then they wonder why their dreams feel heavy and their mornings feel depleted. Jesus did the opposite. He protected the final moments of consciousness fiercely, not because rules demanded it, but because awareness understood consequence. Chosen One. Your mind is like soil in those final minutes. Whatever you plant there grows all night long. If you plant fear, your body rehearses survival. If you plant resentment, your body tightens and braces. If you plant trust, your body receives permission to heal. This is not theory. This is lived reality. I have watched inflammation lessen, anxiety soften, and clarity return simply by changing what I carried into rest. Not forcing positivity, but choosing truth over fear. Anointed One. This is why Jesus taught forgiveness before rest, not as morality, but as medicine. Forgiveness disarms the nervous system. It tells the body the danger has passed. You cannot heal while preparing for attack. You cannot restore while bracing for harm. Forgiveness removes the armor so the body can finally rest. This is not about letting others off the hook. It is about releasing your body from carrying unnecessary tension into the night. Control works the same way. The need to manage outcomes keeps the body alert. Even in sleep, the system remains partially activated. This is why people wake up tired even after long hours of rest. Jesus understood that surrender was not weakness, but alignment with intelligence greater than the mind's narrow scope. When he released control, he was not giving up responsibility. He was allowing order to arise naturally. Chosen One, surrender before sleep is a declaration that you trust life to continue without your grip. It is the belief that the universe does not collapse when you stop managing it. This belief is not naive. It is deeply intelligent. I have experienced nights where I consciously released control and the body responded instantly. Breathing deepened, muscles softened, sleep became restorative rather than restless. This is what alignment feels like in the body. Anointed One. The final layer is remembrance, not imagination, not pretending. Remembering what you are beneath the story. Jesus did not fall asleep identifying as powerless. He rested in the awareness of union. He knew himself as sourced. This is why his words carried authority. Authority does not come from position, it comes from coherence. When your inner world is unified, the outer world responds. Your body recognizes truth even if your mind argues with it. When you rest in the awareness that you are held, that you are not separate, that you are safe at the deepest level, your nervous system listens. Cells respond. Repair begins. This is why healing does not require effort. It requires alignment. Effort signals lack. Alignment signals sufficiency. Chosen One. You are not being asked to become something new. You are being invited to stop interfering with what already knows how to heal. The practice Jesus lived was not mystical elitism, it was grounded wisdom. Protect the threshold, release what binds, surrender what controls, remember what is true, then rest. The night is still the training ground. The sanctuary has not closed. The doorway opens every time you lay down and let go, and what you allow there quietly shapes everything you become when you rise. Chosen One. There is a final misunderstanding that must be dismantled if this teaching is going to move from inspiration into embodiment. Most people think the night heals them because time passes, but time does nothing on its own. What heals is the state you inhabit while time passes. 8 hours of restless sleep can drain you. 1 night of surrendered rest can restore you. Jesus did not rely on duration. He relied on depth. He entered the night fully without resistance, without rehearsal of identity, without clinging to outcomes. This depth is what trained his consciousness to remain coherent under pressure. Anointed One. Your body was designed to heal itself, but only under the right instruction. Consciousness is that instruction. When you fall asleep in a state of separation, the body obeys separation. When you fall asleep in unity, the body obeys unity. This is why the phrase "as above, so below" is not poetry, but law. The inner state writes the outer condition. Jesus understood this so completely that his sleep was not escape from responsibility, but participation in creation. I want you to notice something subtle. When Jesus calmed storms, healed bodies, or raised the dead, there was no strain in him, no effort, no visible struggle. Power moved without friction because friction had already been removed in the night. Most people try to fix life during the day and then wonder why the night offers no relief. Jesus inverted this. He aligned at night so the day would obey. This inversion is the hidden wisdom. Chosen one. Think about the times you have woken up with a sense of rightness, even though nothing externally changed. Or the mornings when a burden felt lighter without explanation. Or moments when grief softened overnight without conversation or analysis. Those were not accidents. Those were moments when you briefly aligned without interference. The night did its work because you stopped interrupting it. Anointed one. The greatest deception around rest is the belief that you must deserve it, that you must earn peace by fixing everything first. Jesus never taught this. He invited the weary to rest precisely because weariness signals misalignment, not moral failure. Rest is not a reward, it is a reset. And the reset happens when you stop proving worthiness and start trusting truth. This is why guilt is so destructive to healing. Guilt keeps the body braced. It whispers that something must be fixed before peace is allowed. Jesus dismantled this belief by resting in union, not performance. He knew that healing flows from identity, not effort. When identity is remembered, behavior follows naturally. But behavior cannot force identity. This is why religious striving exhausts people. It attempts to reverse the order of reality. Chosen one, your dreams are not distractions. They are diagnostics. They reveal what the soul is processing when the mind is no longer censoring. If your dreams feel heavy, it is not a sign of failure. It is a sign of release in progress. The night brings unresolved material to the surface so it can be integrated. This is not punishment, it is mercy. Jesus trusted this process. He did not suppress what rose in the dark. He allowed it to move through him. Anointed one, when you resist rest, you resist integration. When you rush the night, you interrupt healing. This is why the chosen often experience seasons of exhaustion before awakening. The body is asking for a different way of being. The soul is asking for coherence. The night is the messenger. I have lived this personally. There were seasons where my days were productive but hollow, where my nights were restless because I refused to let go of control. It was only when I stopped trying to solve everything consciously that real solutions began to arrive. Not through effort, but through alignment. Not through planning, but through surrender. This is not spiritual bypassing. This is spiritual intelligence. Chosen one. The Christ within you is not activated through intensity. It is activated through coherence. Coherence happens when inner conflict dissolves. Sleep is where this dissolution occurs most naturally. This is why the kingdom is described as something you enter like a child. Children do not carry mental armor into rest. They trust the ground beneath them. They surrender easily. Jesus was pointing to this state, not immaturity, but openness. Anointed one. The more you honor the night, the less you will need to force the day. Authority will arise naturally, presence will deepen, clarity will sharpen, not because you did more, but because you interfered less. This is the way power actually moves. The final shift is this: stop seeing sleep as the end of the day. See it as the beginning of alignment. See rest as participation, not absence. See the night as the place where heaven and earth quietly meet within you. And understand that every time you surrender consciously, something ancient remembers itself in your cells. The miracles were never performed in the moment they appeared. They were prepared in the dark. And that preparation is still available, still active, still waiting for your consent every single night. Chosen one, there is a deeper layer beneath everything you have heard so far, and it is the one most people avoid because it removes excuses. If sleep is the sanctuary and consciousness is the instruction, then responsibility quietly returns to the inner life, not as pressure, but as power. Jesus never blamed circumstances for what flowed through him. He did not wait for the world to become peaceful before he rested in peace. He rested first, and the world reorganized around that state. This is the inversion that feels threatening to a mind trained to react instead of align. Anointed one, notice how often people say, "I'll rest when things calm down," or "I'll relax once this season passes." That logic never resolves because the nervous system does not respond to future promises. It responds to present signals. Jesus understood this. He did not postpone rest until danger passed. He rested in the middle of danger. This is why he could sleep on a boat during a storm. That moment was not symbolic. It was diagnostic. His inner world was so coherent that external chaos had no authority over it. This is where alignment becomes lived rather than conceptual. If you wait for circumstances to change before resting, you give circumstances control over your nervous system. If you rest first, you reclaim authority. Authority is not dominance, it is stability. When stability is present internally, instability cannot take root externally. This is not denial, it is regulation. Jesus regulated his inner state so deeply that miracles became a side effect, not a goal. Chosen one. This is why people who awaken to this truth often go through a season of discomfort. The old patterns resist being dismantled. The mind argues. The body resists letting go of vigilance. Control feels familiar even when it hurts. Letting go feels unsafe at first because the nervous system is trained for threat. But this resistance is not failure. It is evidence that something fundamental is shifting. Jesus did not bypass this phase. He moved through it in silence, away from crowds where no one could applaud or interfere. Anointed one, the night reveals what the day conceals. During the day, identity performs. At night, identity dissolves. This is why unresolved emotion surfaces when you try to rest. It is not because you are broken, it is because the system is finally allowed to speak. Most people suppress this with distraction. Jesus listened. He did not numb. He did not escape. He allowed integration, and integration is what made him whole. I want to say this clearly because it frees many people. You do not need to control your thoughts before sleep. You need to stop fighting them. Fighting thoughts keeps the nervous system activated. Allowing them to pass without engagement signals safety. This is what Jesus practiced intuitively. He did not rehearse identity. He rested beyond it. When thoughts softened, awareness remained. That awareness is the doorway. Chosen one. When awareness remains without effort, something remarkable happens. The body stops bracing. The breath deepens naturally. The heart rate slows. The system enters repair mode. This is not spiritual theory. It is biological reality. Jesus lived in this state so consistently that his presence regulated others. People felt safe near him. That safety allowed their bodies to release tension and heal. He did not heal by force. He healed by coherence. Anointed one, consider how many people felt better simply by being near him, even before words were spoken. That was not charisma. That was nervous system entrainment. His internal state invited alignment in others. This is why power left him when someone touched him in faith. The system recognized coherence and responded. This coherence was cultivated in the night. This is also why he warned against hypocrisy. Hypocrisy is internal division. Saying one thing while being another fractures coherence. Fractured coherence weakens authority. This is why religious performance exhausts people. It asks them to maintain division. Jesus refused this. He chose wholeness, and wholeness begins in rest. Chosen one, you are not being asked to master anything overnight. You are being invited to stop fighting what already knows how to heal you. Each night is a practice, not a test. Some nights will feel deep. Some will feel restless. Both are part of integration. What matters is intention, not perfection. Jesus did not perform this practice to earn power. He practiced because he trusted the process. Anointed one, as this understanding deepens, something subtle shifts in the way you live. You stop chasing certainty. You stop rehearsing fear. You stop gripping outcomes. Not because life becomes predictable, but because your inner stability no longer depends on prediction. This is freedom. This is what the kingdom feels like from the inside. The world teaches you to brace. Jesus taught you to rest. The world teaches you to react. Jesus taught you to align. And alignment once established does not need to be defended. It expresses itself naturally through presence, clarity, and authority. The night is still doing its work. The sanctuary is still open. And each time you choose rest over resistance, coherence over control, trust over fear, you are not imitating Jesus. You are remembering the same truth he lived from. Chosen one. There comes a point in this journey where understanding is no longer enough. The mind can agree, resonate, even feel inspired, yet still cling to familiar patterns of tension. This is where embodiment begins, and embodiment is always quieter than revelation. Jesus did not announce his alignment, he lived it, and the way he lived it reshaped reality around him without force. The deepest transformation never happens through dramatic moments. It happens through repetition in obscurity. Night after night, breath after breath, rest after rest. Anointed one embodiment is what happens when truth is practiced long enough that it no longer feels like effort. At first, surrender feels like something you do. Over time, it becomes something you are. This is why consistency matters more than intensity. Many people touch peace once and then try to recreate the feeling. Jesus did not chase states. He stabilized them. He allowed coherence to become his baseline. This is why, even when challenged, even when misunderstood, even when threatened, his inner state did not collapse. His rest was not situational, it was structural. There is a moment every night when the body asks a quiet question, "Am I safe now?" Most people answer that question with distraction. They scroll, they numb, they delay rest because stillness feels unfamiliar. Jesus answered that question with trust, and trust repeated nightly rewires the nervous system. Over time, the body learns that safety is not dependent on external conditions. It learns that safety is an internal state. This is when authority emerges naturally, not as dominance, but as grounded presence. Chosen one. This is also where identity begins to loosen. When you stop defining yourself by struggle, by effort, by survival, something else rises. Not a new personality, but a deeper awareness. The awareness that you are not the one doing life. Life is moving through you. Jesus lived from this awareness. This is why he said the Father does the works through him. He was not diminishing himself. He was describing alignment. When effort steps aside, intelligence moves freely. Anointed one. Many people fear this shift because they think surrender means losing themselves. In truth, surrender reveals what was buried beneath performance. The false self resists rest because rest exposes what is unnecessary. The true self welcomes rest because rest feels like home. This is why the night can feel uncomfortable before it becomes nourishing. Old identities dissolve there. Old defenses soften. Old narratives lose their grip. This dissolution is not loss. It is release. I want to speak to the part of you that still feels responsible for holding everything together. That part learned early that control equals safety. That part is tired. Jesus did not shame that part. He invited it to lay down its burden. When he said, "Come to me and I will give you rest," he was speaking to the over-functioning mind, the hyper-vigilant heart, the exhausted nervous system. Rest was not escape from responsibility. It was the restoration of proper order. Chosen one. When proper order returns, things begin to move with less resistance. Decisions become clearer. Boundaries become firmer without aggression. Compassion deepens without self-betrayal. This is the fruit of alignment, not perfection, but coherence. You stop leaking energy through inner conflict. You stop rehearsing fear. You stop arguing with reality. And in that stillness, wisdom rises. This is why Jesus often spoke in paradox. The kingdom belongs to those who become like children. The last shall be first, losing life to find it. These were not riddles meant to confuse. They were descriptions of inverted reality. The world rewards tension. The kingdom responds to trust. The world praises effort. The kingdom flows through surrender. Sleep was the nightly rehearsal of this inversion. Every night Jesus practiced letting go so he could live from what remained. Anointed one. This practice does not remove pain from life. It removes resistance to pain, and resistance is what turns pain into suffering. Jesus felt grief. He wept. He experienced fear. But he did not cling to these states. He allowed them to move through him without identity attaching. This is what rest teaches. Emotions arise and pass without defining you. Sensations come and go without owning you. This is freedom. Chosen one. As this truth integrates, you may notice something unexpected. Your desire to prove, explain, or convince others begins to fade. Not because you don't care, but because coherence speaks louder than words. Presence carries weight. Rested awareness has authority. People feel it without being told. This is how Jesus taught, not by argument, but by embodiment. His life was the message. The night is still shaping you. Not dramatically, subtly. Each time you choose to release instead of rehearse, to trust instead of control, to rest instead of resist, something aligns a little deeper. And over time, that alignment becomes who you are. Not a practice you remember to do, but a state you live from. This is when miracles stop being something you hope for and start being something that flows naturally through your presence. Not because you sought power, but because you learned to stop blocking it. Chosen one. There is a moment when this teaching stops feeling like something you are learning and starts feeling like something you recognize. Recognition is quieter than discovery. It does not excite the mind as much as it settles the body. When recognition happens, urgency shifts from seeking answers to living truth. Jesus lived from recognition. He was not searching for God. He was remembering union. This is why his authority did not fluctuate with circumstance. It was anchored beneath circumstance. Anointed one. Most people think power comes from intensity, passion, or force of will. But intensity burns out. Passion fluctuates. Willpower collapses under pressure. Jesus demonstrated a different kind of power, one that flows from stillness. Stillness is not the absence of movement. It is the absence of inner resistance. When resistance dissolves, energy moves freely. This is why the night is so essential. It dissolves resistance naturally if you let it. There is a reason the chosen are often led into seasons of withdrawal, isolation, or quiet before expansion. It is not punishment, it is preparation. Expansion without coherence fractures. Visibility without alignment destroys. Jesus did not step into public ministry until his inner state was stable enough to hold what would move through him. The wilderness came before the miracles. Silence came before authority. Sleep came before power. Chosen one, this pattern still applies. When life slows you down against your will, it is often because something deeper is being calibrated. The mind interprets stillness as stagnation. The soul recognizes it as alignment. I have lived this. There were seasons where nothing seemed to move outwardly, yet inwardly everything was rearranging. When movement returned, it carried clarity instead of chaos. That is not coincidence. That is preparation done well. Anointed one. The night is where this calibration happens most efficiently. In rest, you are no longer performing for the world. You are no longer maintaining identity. You are no longer defending narratives. You are simply being. And being is the foundation of doing that does not deplete. Jesus did not exhaust himself healing others because he did not operate from effort. He operated from overflow. Overflow comes from rest. This is also why fear loses its grip when alignment deepens. Fear thrives on anticipation and control. Alignment lives in presence and trust. When you learn to rest without rehearsing danger, fear begins to dissolve. Not because you fought it, but because it lost relevance. The nervous system recalibrates when it repeatedly experiences safety without external proof. Jesus trusted this process. He lived in it. Chosen one. There is something else that happens when rest becomes embodied. Your relationship with time changes. Urgency softens. Patience deepens. You stop rushing outcomes because you trust unfolding. This is not passivity. It is precision. You move when movement is needed and remain still when stillness is required. Jesus moved with this precision. He did not heal everyone immediately. He did not rush every situation. He listened inwardly before acting outwardly. This listening was cultivated in the night. Anointed one. Many people want the power of discernment without the discipline of rest. But discernment does not come from information. It comes from coherence. When inner noise quiets, truth becomes obvious. You feel when to speak and when to remain silent. You sense when to move and when to wait. This sensitivity is not mystical. It is the natural result of a regulated system. Jesus embodied this sensitivity. He was responsive, not reactive. This is why attempts to imitate his actions without embodying his state always fall short. Behavior without alignment becomes performance. Alignment without performance becomes authority. Jesus never asked you to copy him mechanically. He invited you to live from the same source. That source is not accessed through effort. It is accessed through rest. Chosen one, as this integration deepens, you may notice old motivations losing their pull. The need to impress, the need to be seen, the need to prove worth. These motivations dissolve naturally when identity stabilizes. You no longer need external validation when internal coherence is present. Jesus did not seek approval because he rested in knowing. That knowing was cultivated away from crowds, away from noise, away from opinion. Anointed one. The world is loud because it is insecure. It demands attention because it lacks coherence. The kingdom is quiet because it is complete. When you begin to live from that quiet, your presence carries weight without force. People listen without being persuaded. Situations shift without manipulation. This is influence without effort. This is authority without domination. The night continues to shape this within you. Each time you rest without resistance, each time you release control instead of rehearsing fear, each time you forgive before sleep, something stabilizes deeper. Over time, this stability becomes unshakable, not because life stops challenging you, but because challenges no longer define you. Chosen one. The secret was never hidden to keep you out. It was hidden to protect it from misuse. Power without coherence destroys. Authority without rest corrupts. Jesus lived the order correctly. Rest first, alignment second, action last. Reverse the order and you create exhaustion. Honor the order and you create flow. You are learning this now, not intellectually, but experientially. The night is teaching you. The rest is training you, and what is forming quietly within you will eventually express itself without striving, not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. Chosen one. There is a quiet turning point that arrives when rest is no longer something you practice only at night, but something that begins to shape how you meet the day. You wake differently. Not rushed, not braced, not immediately scanning for threat or obligation. There is a subtle steadiness that carries over a residue of alignment that follows you into waking life. This is where the night's work becomes visible. Jesus did not leave his rest behind when morning came. He carried it with him. This is why his presence felt anchored even in chaos. His inner state did not reset at sunrise, it remained coherent, anointed one. Most people wake and immediately fracture their awareness. They split themselves between worries, plans, identities, and expectations. They abandon the stillness they touched in sleep and re-enter tension by habit. Jesus resisted this fragmentation. He moved slowly. He listened inwardly before engaging outwardly. His actions flowed from a state already established, not from reaction. This is what made his words effective. They were not born from urgency, but from clarity. There is a moment each morning when consciousness chooses how it will organize itself. This moment is subtle and easily missed. It happens before thought accelerates, before identity tightens. If you rush through it, the nervous system defaults to old patterns. If you pause even briefly, the coherence from the night can carry forward. This is not ritual, it is awareness. Jesus honored this transition. He did not leap from rest into noise. He let alignment lead, chosen one. This is why he often withdrew early in the morning as well. Not because alignment was fragile, but because he protected it. Alignment once established becomes the source from which everything else flows. When you protect the source, you do not need to manage outcomes. Outcomes organize themselves around coherence. This is not mystical thinking. It is how regulated systems function. Anointed one, notice how different life feels when you act from a settled place rather than a reactive one. Conversations shift, decisions feel cleaner, boundaries form without aggression. You stop explaining yourself excessively. This is the fruit of rest carried into action. Jesus did not argue his authority, he embodied it. And embodiment does not shout, it resonates. This is also where the teaching becomes deeply practical. You do not need to change your life dramatically to live this way. You need to stop abandoning yourself in moments of pressure. Each time you choose to remain present instead of reactive, you reinforce coherence. Each time you pause instead of rushing, you deepen alignment. Each time you trust, instead of gripping you, extend the night's healing into the day. Chosen one. The world is designed to pull you back into fragmentation. Speed, noise, comparison, urgency. None of these are neutral. They train the nervous system to stay alert, braced, divided. Jesus lived in the same world of pressure, expectation, and danger, yet he remained whole. not because he avoided life, but because he refused to abandon alignment. This refusal was practiced in rest. Anointed one. This is why many people feel spiritually connected at night, but disconnected during the day. They treat rest as an isolated experience rather than a foundation. Jesus treated rest as the foundation. Everything else was built on top of it. When you reverse this order, life feels exhausting. When you honor it, life feels supported. I want to speak to the part of you that fears losing momentum if you slow down. That fear is understandable. It learned to survive by staying alert. But survival is not the same as living. Jesus did not sacrifice effectiveness by resting. He increased it. His actions carried weight because they emerged from coherence. When you act from coherence, less effort produces greater impact. Chosen one. As you begin to live this way, you may notice resistance from others. Not because you are doing something wrong, but because coherence unsettles systems built on tension. A regulated presence exposes dysregulation without saying a word. This is why Jesus was both comforting and confronting. His rest revealed where others were restless. His peace highlighted where others were bound. He did not create conflict. He revealed it. Anointed one, do not mistake this for detachment. Rest does not make you indifferent. It makes you precise. You feel deeply without being overwhelmed. You care without losing yourself. You act decisively without aggression. This is the balance Jesus lived. Compassion rooted in stability rather than urgency. The invitation now is simple, though not always easy. Let the night continue its work into the morning. Do not rush to pick up old identities. Do not immediately resume tension. Give coherence a chance to lead. Even small pauses matter. Even brief awareness shifts the trajectory. Chosen one miracles did not follow Jesus because he chased them. They followed because his inner state allowed reality to reorganize around him. That same principle applies now. As rest becomes embodied, action becomes effective. As alignment deepens, life responds. And what once felt like effort begins to feel like flow. This is not a destination. It is a way of moving through life, one breath at a time, one night at a time, one act of trust at a time. And the more you live from this place, the more you realize the secret was never about sleep alone. It was about learning how to stop leaving yourself behind. Chosen one. There is a threshold that appears when alignment has been practiced long enough that it begins to confront old identities. This is the stage where rest no longer feels like relief alone, but like truth exposing what is false. Jesus encountered this. The more he lived from coherence, the more incompatible certain structures became, not because he rebelled, but because misalignment could no longer hide in his presence. Rest does this. It clarifies, and clarity often disrupts what was built on confusion. Anointed one, many people think awakening only brings comfort. In reality, it brings honesty. When you stop abandoning yourself through tension and effort, you begin to notice where you have been compromising truth for approval, safety, or belonging. This is not condemnation, it is integration. Jesus did not attack institutions out of anger. He exposed them by embodying something they could not contain. His rest revealed their unrest. This is why the path of alignment can feel lonely at times. When your nervous system is no longer regulated by chaos, certain relationships, habits, and environments lose resonance. This is not rejection, it is resonance shifting. Jesus withdrew not because he despised people, but because proximity without coherence drains. He honored silence not as escape, but as recalibration. This is wisdom, not isolation. Chosen one. There is a subtle grief that can arise here. The grief of realizing how much energy you have spent maintaining what no longer fits. The grief of seeing clearly what once felt normal. Allow this grief. It is part of integration. Jesus wept not because he was weak, but because clarity opens the heart. Rest softens defenses, and when defenses soften, truth can be felt fully. Anointed One. This is also where discernment sharpens. You no longer make decisions from urgency or fear. You sense when something is misaligned without needing to justify it. This sensing is not judgment, it is information. Jesus did not explain himself endlessly. He moved when it was time and stayed when it was time. This timing was not strategic, it was responsive to inner alignment. The night continues to support this stage. In rest, the psyche reorganizes. Old patterns surface to be released. Dreams may become vivid or symbolic. This is not regression, it is refinement. The system is shedding what it no longer needs. Do not rush this process. Jesus did not hurry his own. He trusted what was unfolding beneath awareness. Chosen One. There is something powerful that happens when rest becomes your anchor. Fear loses its authority, not because fear disappears, but because it no longer dictates action. You can feel fear and still choose trust. You can feel uncertainty and still remain grounded. This is maturity. This is what allowed Jesus to face conflict without becoming reactive. He was anchored beneath emotion. Anointed One. The world often mistakes reactivity for passion and calm for indifference. But calm is not apathy. Calm is clarity without distortion. When clarity is present, action is precise. Jesus overturned tables not from rage, but from alignment. His actions were not impulsive, they were decisive. This distinction matters. Alignment does not make you passive, it makes you accurate. There may be moments now where your old strategies stop working. Overthinking no longer resolves anxiety. Busyness no longer creates security. Approval no longer satisfies. This can feel disorienting, but it is a sign of growth. Jesus did not rely on coping mechanisms. He relied on coherence. When coping strategies fall away, something deeper is ready to take their place. Chosen One. This is also where trust deepens beyond comfort. Trust is no longer just believing things will work out. It is allowing things to fall away without immediately replacing them. This requires courage. Jesus lived this courage quietly. He did not cling to roles, titles, or outcomes. He allowed identity to be fluid while truth remained stable. The night supports this fluidity. In sleep, you release identity completely. You do not hold your name, your history, your reputation. You exist as awareness. This nightly practice makes it easier to let go during the day. Over time, you stop gripping life so tightly, and when you stop gripping life, moves more freely. Anointed One. You may notice that your sense of purpose changes. It becomes less about achievement and more about presence, less about doing and more about being. This does not reduce impact, it increases it. Jesus changed the world not by chasing influence, but by embodying truth so fully that it could not be ignored. Chosen One. Rest is no longer just preparation. It is now revelation. It reveals what is real. It reveals what is aligned. It reveals what must be released. And while this stage can feel unsettling, it is the doorway to a deeper freedom. A freedom not dependent on control, approval, or certainty. What remains when everything false falls away is not emptiness. It is coherence. And coherence is the ground from which life moves with grace. Chosen One. What remains now is not another technique, not another layer of understanding, but a simple and profound truth. You were never meant to strain your way into becoming who you are. Everything Jesus demonstrated flowed from remembrance, not acquisition. The night did not give him power. It removed what blocked it. And this is the final revelation most people never reach, because it requires letting go of the identity that believes it must earn, prove, or strive to be worthy of alignment. Anointed One, when all the layers fall away, when effort dissolves, when fear loosens its grip, what remains is not emptiness, it is presence, a quiet, steady awareness that does not need to announce itself. This presence is what Jesus lived from. Not as an idea, not as a philosophy, but as a state of being so stable that even suffering could not dislodge it. He was not untouched by pain. He was unseparated from truth. That distinction changes everything. The final secret is this: rest was never about preparing for miracles. Rest was the miracle. In rest, separation ends. In rest, the false self loosens. In rest, the mind stops narrating and the deeper intelligence takes over. This is why healing happened around Jesus without effort. This is why people felt seen, known, and restored simply by being near him. He did not carry fragmentation into the world. He carried coherence, and coherence reorganizes reality naturally. Chosen One. This is why the gospel was never meant to make you smaller. It was meant to wake you up, not to inflate the ego, but to dissolve it, not to elevate the human self above others, but to remember the divine nature beneath all selves. When Jesus said the Father and I are one, he was not making a claim of exclusivity. He was revealing a state of consciousness available to all who stop resisting it, and the doorway into that state has always been rest. Anointed One, you do not need to wait for some future moment to embody this. You are not incomplete until something happens. The alignment you are seeking is already present beneath the noise. Every night when you sleep, you touch it. Every time you surrender control, you feel it. Every moment you choose trust over fear, you live from it. The practice was never about becoming divine. It was about remembering you never stopped being connected. This is why the teachings were buried, softened, and turned into metaphor. A rested, coherent human cannot be easily controlled. A person who knows how to return to alignment does not depend on external authority for peace. This threatens systems built on fear and scarcity. But truth does not disappear because it is hidden. It waits. And now it is being remembered again. Chosen One. When you close your eyes tonight, do not treat sleep as collapse. Treat it as return. Return to the state where identity loosens and awareness remains. Return to the place where you are not managing life, but allowing it. Return to the sanctuary that has always existed within you. Not to make something happen, but to stop interfering with what already knows how to heal, guide, and restore. This is the final invitation. Stop trying to become aligned and allow alignment to surface. Stop chasing power and let coherence express itself. Stop seeking God as something separate and recognize the presence that has been breathing through you all along. Jesus did not come to be admired from a distance. He came to show you what becomes possible when a human being stops resisting truth. Chosen One, you are not behind. You are not late. You are not missing anything essential. You are standing at the point of remembrance where effort ends and embodiment begins. The night has been preparing you. The rest has been training you. The silence has been shaping you. And what emerges from this is not someone new, but someone whole. Nothing needs to be added. Nothing needs to be forced. The kingdom was never far away. It has always been as close as your next breath, your next surrender, your next moment of rest. And as you live from this place, not occasionally but consistently, you will notice something quietly miraculous. Life begins to meet you with the same coherence you bring to it, not because you demanded it, but because you remembered who you are. Chosen one, as this moment closes, know that nothing you encountered here was accidental. Your sealed prophecy is opening, your hidden scroll is unrolling, and you are standing in your exact Kairos hour on heaven's clock. Tonight, as you enter sacred rest, let trust replace striving and remembrance replace effort. The anointing is already at work within you, aligning what was scattered and restoring what was delayed. Remain faithful, stay yielded, and look ahead with gratitude for what is already forming beyond sight. If this word resonated in your spirit, leave a quiet witness in the comments or join this sanctuary of remembrance by subscribing. Go now in peace, anointed one. Rest in power, awaken in alignment.